Hi everyone, I promised I would be back when my braces were off to make a video about having braces as an adult, before and after pictures and just a little bit about my experience with them. So they're off. I'll start at the very start, the reason I got them. All you have to do is look at one of my earlier videos to see why. I had this sort of like a fang tooth, and then my two front teeth were sort of lopsided because of them. I really had like loads and loads of overcrowding, and my gums were getting higher, and it's been recommended since I was 11 basically that I get braces, and I didn't get them, and so I needed them now. I would recommend that you really shop around. First of all, I got mine for a set price. That's not as important as actually finding a decent orthodontist. I went to see a first dentist. They were advertising on the radio loads and loads and loads about Invisalign, and I drove to meet them. I literally smiled and they said, yes, we'll have your €3,500 please, and it will work fine. 2 years apparently I needed them. So I decided, I left feeling, no, I don't think so. So I went and I found a dentist who offered both of them, and I thought that would be the best way to get, a reasonable, it would be the best way to get a realistic response to my question and actually see if I could go with Invisalign or if I really needed orthodontic braces. And this dentist just said there's no way Invisalign would work on such overcrowding, that it's only for very subtle changes and that I wasn't suitable. So I'm really glad I didn't waste my money. So it was no problem getting them on, and no problem at all. For the first couple of weeks I was a little bit weird. I felt like my mouth was full of metal. I was really self-conscious about speaking and not so much about smiling. I wasn't really concerned about what they looked like. I was just really concerned about how I sounded, and they didn't affect my speech at all because your tongue is behind your teeth. But if in your head it affects your speech, then it actually does. But after about 2 weeks, I didn't notice them, and I just completely forgot about them. And I'd say for the bulk of 2 years, I was completely unaware of them, with the exception of when I ate, and I'll explain that again later. So that's a complete pro. You forget about them, and that's brilliant. I had appointments every 6 weeks usually, and the dentist just kind of did stuff with the wire. I'm not entirely sure what. For the first couple of months you see huge changes every month. You just can't believe how different your teeth are, and it's really amazing. For the last year you don't see that much, and for the last couple of months in particular it was really long for me because I knew they were coming off soon but I didn't know when, and also because I couldn't see any of the changes anymore, but your dentist obviously can, so it is working. I occasionally had the odd bit of pain, and I just took ibuprofen, but like nothing severe, no really bad pain that I couldn't eat or anything like that. Just more discomfort, and then it would just pass and it was fine. Some people were saying they had to use the wax in their mouth. I could not put that in my mouth. When I got them put on first, the side of the brace was actually kind of catching on my cheek, and I read online that I should just leave it and let the skin toughen up, and that is what I did, but not before trying the wax. Cotton wool in my mouth or anything like that makes me gag. So the feeling of the wax at the side of my cheek, the inside of my mouth, was making me sick, so I just took it out and left it. It also, if you buy the minty one, it means all your food tastes like toothpaste as well, which is really annoying. And if you eat with it, it will also, if you don't put it on right, it like ends up in your food. So these are the horrible realities of braces. You need things that you need to know. As far as cleaning them went, that was a doddle. I just used like the usual electric toothbrush, the same one I've always used. I use interdontal brushes because you can't use floss, obviously, because you can't get it out or in. What else? I didn't use mouthwash. I don't use mouthwash anyway because I've never had a dentist recommend that I use it, so I don't bother. But there was nothing really different. I would say that I'm very, very particular about oral hygiene, and I didn't have to have my teeth whitened after they took the braces off. No staining or marking or anything like that. I was very fussy about brushing. I always am. I chose to have clear braces put in the top, and it's not like Invisalign or anything like that. It's basically the same as the metal brace on the bottom, but it is ceramic. So it looks the same colour as your teeth. It's not clear, it looks the same colour as your teeth. There is a wire, and the wire discoloured. Now the wire, it only happened maybe a week or so before my next appointment. So all the things I ate would, no matter how much I brushed my teeth, anything with any colouring in it, it would basically hold on. If you drink red wine, which I don't, if you drink coffee, which I don't, and if you drink loads of kind of things like Coca-Cola and stuff, I don't, but I still ended up with a little bit of discoloration. Nothing crazy, and it wasn't on the ceramic brackets, which I thought it was. It's actually on the wire. So as soon as the dentist changed that every 6 weeks, it went back to normal again, and then I get another 4 to 5 weeks without it looking a little bit off, and then a dodgy week that I was kind of a bit moany about. If you're a teenager as well, everyone has braces. In Ireland, actually, at the moment, lots of adults do, because braces are only becoming kind of standard here. They've been standard a while, but they're only really, you know, it's only really in the last maybe 15 years, 10, 15 years that they're just, everyone has them. And so adults are kind of going backwards to try and fix their teeth, and that would be me. And having them off I was just so excited. It was a bit of a hoo-ha, and it isn't for most people, and I'll explain. Things like blood and gross things like that, they don't bother me at all. But teeth, the idea of teeth breaking or teeth falling out or anything like that, it completely disgusts me, and it's revolting. And when the dentist was using the pliers to kind of crack the ceramic brackets off, it sounded like he was crushing my teeth, and it felt a little bit like that just because there was a lot of pressure, and I panicked a little bit. I don't usually do that in the dentist at all, but it was just because that particular sound for me is just horrifying. So I was a little bit upset by the end of the hour, and I just kept sitting there thinking, oh, it'll be worth it. And when they were all off and all the glue had been buffed off and everything, and I knew I was going to see them, I thought it would be like, you know, I keep hearing about people who get laser eye surgery, and when the surgery's finished, they ask the person to look at the clock and read the time, and they're amazed like that they can see. And I was expecting to feel that, oh my god, wow, they're amazing. But actually, I think because I was so upset during the appointment, I was home and everything before I really had to look at them, and I thought I'd be completely elated. And I was delighted at how they looked, but it is a little bit weird because your face looks a little bit different. Your smile is obviously different, and I don't mean it is obviously different to my teeth before, but I mean it's different to when you're wearing braces. Like your lips look fuller when you have braces. So when he took them off, I was like, oh, what happened to my lips? And I think I'm still a little bit awkward smiling because I don't own the smile yet, and I really feel like I owned my braces. I just didn't care, and that's my recommendation. When loads of people were asking me would I recommend them get braces as an adult, and I absolutely would recommend it. I completely recommend it. But you have to have the confidence to just not be bothered by them. And if they are not an issue for you and you think they won't, and really I thought they would be and they weren't at all. You just forget about them. Nobody looks at them or anything. I worried that people would stare at them when I spoke, or they just didn't. So I have got a retaining bar at the back of my teeth, but I've been told that I need to wear the retainer at night, that's obviously much more important. So there is something behind my teeth, and for a few days I was having a little bit of a trouble with S sound, but I've improved. I was practicing. So that's really all I can think of. As I said, mine was a set price, and you obviously need to think of the finances. In Ireland, you get 20%, you can apply for 20% back through your tax at the end of the year. So it's definitely worth it there. And I also paid as I went along. So it wasn't, one big lump sum, which I definitely couldn't have done. So if you're thinking about doing it, you're self-conscious about your teeth, or it's something that needs to be done, you've been thinking about it for a while, and I know loads of you are, I couldn't fault the treatment. The time didn't bother me. Everything was completely manageable. There wasn't the odd bit of pain here and there that you can just take something for, or just get on with it. You do get used to it. And I've had no problems. I'm really, really delighted, and I hope to try out loads and loads of bright lipsticks now, because I have just clung to my MAC Creme de Nude lipstick with the Love Nectar lip gloss for the last 2.5 years, because I didn't want to draw attention to my mouth at all. So I look forward to changing that and trying something a little bit different. But if you've any questions at all, just leave them below and I'll answer them. So thanks for watching, and I will be back very soon with a new video. Bye!